So, welcome to another week of Cryptotalks Wednesdays, episode 170. So, another milestone, another episode. Season 7 kicks off hard. So, here we go. We are very happy for all of this. And we really love you to join and share this episode. Press like if you don't mind so that you can support us. The more you share this, the more we are being supported by you. So it is an exciting week, I would say. A lot of things is happening in the market. I was on a Shark Bloomberg News a couple of days ago talking about the liquidity crisis, which I think is one of the problems. But then it depends which region you are in. If you are in the States or the North America, the liquidity problem is high. If you are in the East, uh, the liquidity problem is not much of a problem as we see and feel from the region. So a lot of money was pumped from Asia and from UAE in specific also, but that played a role to kind of would say maintain the balance of the crypto market as a whole. So with that, let me say hi to Tay, check on him. It's been a week. Time flies. Time really flies, no?
Yeah, time flies. Time flies, and it's been a very interesting week as usual in the crypto space. Nothing that was not surprising. We had a fake red notice alert on Binance. We had news that CZ is being followed by the Interpol. We had a rally again in the crypto prices. And we're going to see some interesting news for this week, especially with the amounts of money that is coming from the Gulf region going into crypto and into the new type of world order we are seeing, whether it's metaverse, NFTs, blockchain, cryptocurrencies. So, exciting week. Uh, and not only time flies, we are flying as well. We're going to Lebanon next week. We're going to stay for approximately a month in Beirut to document how crypto is helping or not helping the community there. We're gonna meet with some community members as well, and between April and May, we will be in Lebanon.
Stay tuned for some news. Hopefully, we'll try to pull off a physical event, cooperation between different parties, also in Beirut, so that we can join the community. With that, it's amazing. I think this week is really was really about CZ and what's happening with CZ or CZ. It depends how you say it. Um, this guy is being hunted. We already said this before in our episodes. They want to take him down. He took out FTX, which we know FTX is a big supporter of some political parties. So now they want his neck one way or another. And then to a point where fake news is being addressed and some other court-wise allegations we have to see. Well, in the US, I think we're seeing a lot of I don't know, first times, other rather than the economy and the failing economy, we're seeing for the first time uh, a president that is being not just investigated, indicted with more than 31 felonies. So this is a first, I think, in the US, and hopefully, I don't know what to say because if they continue on this pace between them, I think this is some sort of a internal civil war without warheads. But this is not good for, in a general, the world order. And if you've been following now, we're talking more about BRICS and we're talking more about the fall of the US dollar. I think this is something we have to keep an eye on and a watch, I would say, because guess what? We're comparing everything to US dollars. So let's go.
Excellent. 1 second. I need to
Just
take
before
all
you
those.
go, Ray, let me do some events, what's happening in the region. It's a quiet time. Some events that are happening more on the May side after Ramadan. Just make sure that you are aware of your crypto fraud alerts, that you are not bombarded or targeted. Personally, I received a couple of emails which are very dedicated to me in the last week. So it's some sort of very spear phishing attack. I don't know what to say anymore. We're trying to really dodge all of those uh, events. So we have maybe the biggest event in the blockchain business, CoinDesk, that is organizing consensus in April, end of April in Austin, Texas, and also instant payments fraud that is happening. Again, we have some partnerships to announce. iFin Innovative Finance with Crypto 306 and Wiki Expo that is happening. So with that, I'll hand over to you, Tay, so that we continue.
Thank you, Rudy, one more time. Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning for all our crypto talks followers wherever you are watching around the world. Welcome to episode number 170, and this is week number 14. Week number 14 in 2023. We've continued to see Bitcoin at $28,000. As I'm speaking now, it dipped to 27,991, and now it's
It's
27,990.
stable between 27, 28 in the last 2 weeks. So
Yeah, indeed, indeed. This is a good sign among crypto traders, because this consolidation we're seeing can play in two ways. We can have a dip in prices, so prices can go down, but the liquidity, the amount of coins staying on exchanges and wallets uh, is not to be compared with a bear sentiment. Not saying that we are turning into a bullish market, but there is some sort of warming up to the idea that Bitcoin is going to stay here, that crypto is part of the global economy. It's acting good as a store of value, as a hedge against inflation, and is still functioning as it is needed to be compared to banks. The Silicon Valley Bank, Credit Suisse, even Lebanese banks, they all share one thing in common. They somehow let down their users, they let down their depositors, and the sentiment in general is we don't trust banks anymore. And this is something that we experienced in Lebanon the past 3 to 4 years. So this is not something new for people in the Middle East, but across the globe we are tasting this bitter sentiment of keeping money in the bank, and more people are asking, how can I use Bitcoin and how can I use it as a store of value to hedge against inflation? With this, we can open our weekly news. But before, as well, we go into that, Rudy and our dear viewers, Dogecoin. We can't not talk about that. 24% profits for people who traded Dogecoin from last week until this week. At the beginning of the year, it was around 0.6, sorry, 0.06, 0.07. Now it's trading at 0.092. We all know what happened. Elon Musk changed the Twitter logo into a Dogecoin logo, and people immediately anticipated there will be a run on Doge, and from there we went 24% up from 7 days until today. I think it was the only coin in the top 20 coins that made major profits for its traders. So, congrats whoever traded Doge this week. Let's get into the news for week number 14 in 2023. What has happened? A lot of interesting things, starting from the new protocol on Bitcoin. Last time we talked about ordinals. Today we have something new, a new protocol in town. It's called Bitcoin stamps. So, Bitcoin stamps is a new way to store images directly on Bitcoin, but it's a little bit different on how ordinals do it. So, what happens is they're able to transform the picture into a encoded base 64, and when you take this encoded base 64 text, you add the word stamp in front of it, and you broadcast it to the Bitcoin network using the counterparty protocol. Counterparty protocol has a function of splitting the text into different multiple parts. Each part is given a unique number, and this is how it can be properly decoded or put back put back together. So when you put it back together, you're getting your picture together. In order to do this, you need some sort of transaction type that is known as pay to script hash or P2SH. So, pay to script hash is a way to securely send BTC or Bitcoin by paying to an address linked to a script, such as it could be a multi signature wallet. But why they're doing this? Because it provides extra security as it requires multiple signatures in order to send funds. So, what we're seeing today in Bitcoin specifically, the marriage between NFTs and the Bitcoin blockchain, it's dividing the Bitcoin community into two groups. One that is supporting this extra revenue of transaction fees that's going to the miners, and the others that are saying, hey, this is congesting our network and it's driving fees up. We don't like it. We don't want it. Ordinals have done a great job since the beginning of the year until today. So let's see what Bitcoin stamps will do. On the other news today, we picked up top 3 reasons why projects fail. And there's, of course, many reasons why projects would not fail. In the crypto space, projects fail mainly, number one, from regulatory constraints. And one of the freshest and biggest examples, and we didn't include it in our news today because there is still some question marks that are unanswered. Paxful has shut down. Paxful, one of the leading peer-to-peer crypto markets that is heavily focused in Africa, heavily invested in Africa. Egyptian founder Ray Youssef, if I'm not mistaken, he has a British nationality as well, if I'm not mistaken with his nationality. But I know for a fact that he has Egyptian roots in him. And he's one of the first early Bitcoin adopters. Paxful has been known in the peer-to-peer markets for quite some time, and it was a shock for everyone after local Bitcoins that Paxful is closing. The reason they're citing their shutting down their platform is mainly regulatory reasons. So here we go, regulatory crackdowns. They can shut down a project. Another reason why projects can be shut down is misaligned incentives. When the majority of the tokens or of the value is being controlled by the team might have misaligned incentives with the mission, division, and what their real intention is. And this is where usually rug pulls happen. And the third reason that projects fail is simply that the developers or the people who are building this crypto project are late to the crypto game. What do we mean by this? We hear a lot of projects coming out saying, yeah, we are the best Bitcoin. We are better than Bitcoin. We are the Bitcoin killer app. Usually such type of messaging or sentiment or words even, they describe the truth of the matter is that those people who are claiming such messages do not understand how Bitcoin works or do not understand the money use case of Bitcoin. And usually they bring words like, yeah, we're building additional features such as better scalability, better privacy, better speed, better programmability. And they think that if they're able to do this, yes, there might be in future such a project or such a thing or such a team, such a human to do it, but it took over 10 years to convince a small fraction of people that the smart money today is called Bitcoin. So by the time that something overshadows Bitcoin, it will take perhaps maybe 20, 30, 40, or 50 years, because the network effect today of Bitcoin has went in a tremendous trajectory that it is very hard for any upcoming project to kill those features that Bitcoin is promoting and has established in the past 11 years. So, of course, there are many reasons as well why projects could fail, like a hack in their smart contract, lack of liquidity, lack of funding. Many of the normal startup failure lessons that we learn in university or in life or in school or from reading blogs, listening to podcasts. But the the major points that do not apply, like between traditional business and the crypto business, mainly the regulatory crackdowns are a killer for crypto projects. Misaligned incentives is very important, and making sure that the not only the distribution of the tokens is clear and fair, but as well the transaction fees, where the profits are coming from, and a lot of incentive related objectives, and most importantly, like understanding the use case and the problem that you are solving, more than aiming at being the next Bitcoin killer, or just focusing on marketing and on those gimmicks that are very hard to achieve. The news of the week, and something that everyone was talking about, crypto and non-crypto, even the crypto haters, they amplified this message that CZ is running from Interpol, and he is being chased by international police. And how did this rumor start? There is a Twitter platform, or there is a user on the Twitter platform. This user is called Kobe, Cobie. He's well-respected member of the crypto community. People listen to his messaging, they read his tweets, and they interact with him. And he has quite an audience. He tweeted a SHA-256 message. So he tweeted a string of numbers and letters, and this was an encrypted message. The decryption of such a message read the the following sentence: Interpol red notice for CZ. So Kobe received this encrypted message. He posted it on Twitter. Someone on Twitter was able to decrypt this message and share what it means. And by comparing the message and the encryption result, there was a match. And this message read Interpol red notice for CZ. So this gives us two options. Option number one, we treat this information as pure bullshit. Option number two, we treat it as a law enforcement officer is illegally leaking elements of a case through encrypted messages. So, if this is happening, this is a felony. This is much bigger news than the story itself. What I believe in and what my bet is, it's a bullshit story. There's no truth to those words. Because of this news, BNB prices dropped, and there was a slight drop in the crypto prices. Another news for this week, and as well related to Binance, directly related to crypto. In a period of time, CZ tried as well to meet with the Sri Lankan central bank and convince them of using crypto as a way of hedging against inflation, of using it as a perhaps payment, a way to pay for goods and services, or as a payment method. The governor of the Sri Lankan central bank does not believe in Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, so there was no uh, conclusion, or there is no positive ending for that meeting. In August 2022, Al Jazeera, they made a report on a crypto project called Sportchain, and they they revealed how this project is a scam. And today, or this week, the central bank of Sri Lanka, they have issued a statement saying that Bitcoin and crypto is a pyramid scheme, and anyone who is gonna promote, interact, and work in the cryptocurrencies, they can risk huge fines, and they can risk perhaps as well jail time. So there was a decline to give further details from the governor of the central bank of Sri Lanka, but uh, the chief legal advisor of the Sri Lankan government is saying they are planning to press criminal charges against those responsible in crypto scams. Um, the, the third most important news for this week, and this is coming from Saudi Arabia, where it turned out that their $620 billion wealth fund has backed crypto friendly VCs. So, as a government, Saudi Arabia, they have disclosed their investments in nearly 40 US venture capital firms, including some of these firms. They have deep investments in crypto, blockchain, and Web3 related investments. So the entity is called Sanabil. Sanabil is the venture arm of the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Vehicle Public Investment Fund. They commit around $2 billion annually into multiple funding rounds to develop businesses with novel business models. And they believe that by investing in the VCs that invest in crypto, they're having the best exposure they can get with the minimum risks. So, who are those who are those partners? So they mentioned Polychain Capital. They have 500 startups, 9 yards, B Capital, Collaborative Fund. There's Craft Ventures. There is as well Iconic Capital. There is Legend Capital, Raise Capital, Soma Capital, Third Point Venture, and the list goes on. Most of those VCs, they have invested in crypto, blockchain, and Web3 Web3 companies. So there is a plan as well from Saudi Arabia to invest in a twin version of its 500 billion desert city Neom in a metaverse offering, but it's not clear if they are going to use blockchain or crypto for that. Good to know as well that the government, they have signed a MOU with Sandbox to potentially collaborate on metaverse projects in the future. Rudy, we go back to you. This was most of the important news that we covered for this week, and we're back to you.
I think we will end. Okay, there's many comments today, but I think we'll end. Well, not will end. We'll start with the last one. Um, we have okay. Yeah, way to go, KSA. Also committed for the metaverse. Yeah. So I'm trying to see here. Uh, you know, KSA, when I was in KSA, they committed $8 billion for the metaverse. So would those be inclusive of the investment, or totally different?
No, I think this is exclusive, Rudy, because this is coming from a a fund that helps a fund. So it's not clear how the structure of those funds is built. But Sanabil is a venture arm that works for another venture arm that works for the for the Saudi Arabian government. And through them, they are investing in other VCs that invest in the by turn in companies related to crypto. So instead of directly investing, let's say, give an example in Rudy blockchain, they're going to invest in a VC that backed up Rudy blockchain, and this is how they are going to get the exposure to all the crypto projects backed by those companies. Now, why this is important? Silicon US, United States, Silicon Valley is known for what? Is known for startups.
Startups,
And
exactly.
it's startups, and it's a very important income for the US government. It's a very important attraction of talent, human capital, and investments into the United States. And it keeps the banking sector there alive with the number of startups and the number of companies that come, bring their employees, rent houses, invest, eat, drink, pay taxes, use facilities, take loans, credit cards, open bank accounts, and so on. With the fall of the Silicon Valley Bank, with the current crunch that the banking sector of the United States is moving into, Saudi Arabia is looking to be the next Silicon Valley hub. And their way to do this, they have money. They can buy all those failed brands, failed entities, and incubate them or host them in Saudi with a huge amount of users in GCC, because now when you are based in Saudi, you're not just selling for the Saudi market. You can go to the GCC market and you can go global from there. So they know that the future of money is crypto. They know the future of sports, of digital interactions is Web3 related, is blockchain related. So they're making those investments from now at, I would say, a very cheap price, because the macroeconomic view today in the world is allowing us to buy assets at a very discounted rate, more than they were in 2022, 2021, and the years before. So this is a huge opportunity for Saudi Arabia, besides sports, besides entertainment, besides real estate, to be in the startup, technology, crypto, blockchain, Web3 world.
Right. Sri Lanka, seriously, from Ilyas, failed government, it won't cut it. Uh,
I mean, it won't cut it. Would it cut it or it won't cut it? At the end, we have regulations that we cannot avoid. They can simply put people in jail. They can simply ban websites. They can hurt the crypto adoption in Sri Lanka a lot. And why do we need it there? Well, inflation in Sri Lanka, number one. But most importantly, the farmers there, they need a way to do cross-border payments. They need a way to accept payments from abroad. You have a huge diaspora as well in Sri Lanka that send money home. Any credit crunch in this country, similar to Lebanon, where capital controls happen, a failed banking state happens, then you need an alternative.
yeah. Today we highlighted on the Dxtalks news from Bahrain regarding that they announced some new amendments to the regulations to allow crypto licensing, crypto assets. So we're seeing now Bahrain also moving on that front in a very positive way, trying to regulate. And knowing that Bahrain has a very uh, interesting position in banking in the whole of the Gulf, privileged position also is something interesting. We see our region more funding, similarly to the news that you mentioned from KSA, and now Bahrain also trying to open its regulation. So we have a question from Ali Khan. What happens if the dollar value went down? BTC will be priced on? Good question.
On the next global accepted currency. So before the US dollar was there, what did we have? We didn't have a common currency where countries agree to trade with. This was done after World War II finished in the Bretton Woods Agreement. All the allies came to Bretton Woods in the United States and they agreed to use the US dollar as a single currency to trade among themselves, but on the condition that the US dollar to be backed by gold, and all countries around the world, especially the ones who won and lost the war in World War II, the ones who won it, they can access the global network backed by United States dollar, and they can grow their economies. And the ones who lost it as well will have that right to access the US dollar and rebuild their economies. And we're seeing the results today. So 1973, the United States president at that time, Nixon, said, we're going to stop backing the US dollar with gold. It will be free floating fiat currency. So this was a big blow to the US dollar, but we're still using it. The rumors today, or the chatter that we're hearing, there's a new currency coming up by the BRICS countries, Saudi, Russia, China. They're going to come together and they're going to use the yuan, the Chinese yuan, or they're going to invent a new currency. Regardless of what happens, Bitcoin will adjust to the currency that's mostly and widely used. Today, it's the US dollar. I think it will be the US dollar for the next maybe 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, but there's always an alternative. And gold could be an alternative as well to price Bitcoin and gold. It is possible. It's possible to price it in Lebanese lira. Maybe Lebanese lira will bounce back to its old prices, and I don't know, Lebanon discovers a huge mountain of gold, and all our problems in Lebanon are solved. Anything can happen. But what will not change is the Bitcoin code, is the way it works, the monetary policy, the fiscal policy, the 21 million, the 100 million, the 4 years halving, the number of supply that cuts down 50% every 4 years. All those are set in stone and will not change forever.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the code. That's the beauty of the transparency. That's the beauty of how things works, especially on the Bitcoin network, because that you can never change. So Bob, his favorite word is regulatory. What a joke! I think he's referring to the regulation failing startups also on that space. Michael Shell on the MPC in the crypto, which is
Multi-party
party.
computations.
Yeah,
Multi-party computations. This is rather a new way. I wouldn't say new in its invention, new it's in its application. We hear more and more about multi-party computations, or MPC, when we want to design a type of encryption that is privacy preserving and that does not require for a seed phrase that represents the private key. Instead, it breaks the private key into two pieces, and when those two pieces are come back together, then the action or the event happens. So it's a pretty, I would say, more secure for non-custodial wallets specifically, and for custodial platforms as well, to use multi-party computations in issuing their keys rather than relying on the traditional seed phrases.
very interesting. I'd like to thank you today for being with us, taking the time. Ramadan Kareem, really to all our people that are with us, that are spending some times to be on this. And this is very important for us also. So don't forget to like, share, and join us next week with another episode of Crypto Talks. So if you want to say anything
Yes.
before we end.
I will keep repeating this message until August 2023 and until August 2024. Sorry, yeah, August 2024, or was it March 2024? I forgot.
I think it's March.
March 2024. August 2023, the halving of Litecoin. This is a very important date to remember. And the halving of Bitcoin, which is approximately in a year from now, March 2024 or April 2024, we will see the Bitcoin halving. This Bitcoin halving next year is very special for one reason. Almost 19 million Bitcoin in circulation out of the 21 million, which leaves us with for 3 million to share and leaves us with approximately every 10 minutes 3.125 Bitcoin to be mined. There are some regulatory pressures in the United States on miners, so we might see them relocating. There are protocols being built on Bitcoin, so this is generating extra revenue that the miner didn't plan for and didn't think of and didn't invent. It's coming out of the community. So keep those dates in mind because it affects the pricing in a simple economic formula. When demand increases, supply decreases, prices tend to go up. And we keep gonna repeating this message till August 2023. Litecoin halving. Make sure you mark your calendars and look in the history of Litecoin before the halving and after the halving. How was the difference in price perspective? With this, I wish you a lovely evening. See you next week. Again, we will be in Beirut between April and May. If you would love to meet up, or if you have any uh, ideas, questions, collaborations, we're here to connect. And thank you, Rudy. Again, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are.
Indeed, indeed. Thank you, Tay, and hopefully we'll try to see you if it is possible. Yeah. See you next week.